My work has a tendency to be quite linear. And I think when you're making art, you need to find out what comes natural to you and then embrace it. I haven't drawn with a dip pen for absolute ages, so this is quite scary. So find if I squint my eyes as I'm drawing, it helps me see the forms. I did a little bit of drawing and I thought I was recording and I forgot to switch the camera on. But all I did was work on the nose, and that's my cat at the door. He can't stand it when I close the door, but and I'm hoping he's going to go away. But if I leave the door open, you'll probably hear the TV. The image that I'm working from, there isn't really a definition between the edge of the face and the background, so I think I'm just going to leave this as a gap. I'll just move that out a bit. Should have actually drawn from left to right because now I'm going to work over the drawing, but yeah, hopefully that wasn't very clever. So maybe that's something to learn from me. Although this ink does dry relatively fast, so it should actually be okay. Just got a strange shadow over her nose, so I'm just indicating it in. I think I've made this too narrow. I think the eyebrow probably only starts from about here, but it's fine. It'll get sorted out in the drawing. You know what, I think sometimes when you make mistakes, you have to come up with a solution for sorting out the mistake, and often the drawing becomes more interesting as a result. So I'm going to have to do something I'm going to have to do something to that eyebrow because it's come across too far, but I'll sort it out. Just looking at the distance between her top of her nose or her eyebrows and the top of the head, and there does seem to be she's got quite a big forehead. It's quite a weird sensation drawing with this pen. Like I said earlier, I haven't drawn with one of these pens in years, so the scratchiness of the metal on the paper is quite something. And the ear's in quite a weird position because of the tilt of the head. Okay, now for the hands, and the hands are going to be quite difficult. And you'll see that a lot of my lines are not continuous because I'm almost leaving gaps open for possibilities or changes. If you commit to a particular line, it's quite difficult to... that's quite wet, so I'm going to leave that. It's quite difficult to to come back and change it. But I find that if I make lines that aren't completely continuous, the changes that I make are just easier to do. And this finger just disappears into blackness as well on the reference. So again, I'm not going to draw the edge of that finger. So that I'll probably paint in with coffee when I get to that part of the drawing. So I'm just checking little areas that I can possibly fill with value and creating little shapes out of those value areas. And I might fill in with coffee and then come back into this drawing with a bit of ink. So I think what I'm going to do is try and pick up and see if I can draw with this instrument that just fill in areas like the nose. That is giving me quite a broad mark. So it's quite a nice contrast to the delicacy of, or the fine nib dip pen, the metal dip pen. And these eyes of hers are quite dark, but I think I might fill them in with coffee. I don't want to make things too dark and then I regret it when I come to work into the piece. I'll just see if I can do something with these eyebrows. I think I'm going to leave it at that for the drawing. Fill in with coffee and then look at it again and maybe come back into it with the ink.